Hi, friends. This one's gonna be more of a happy rant. After 4 years of trying to get my son a 504 at school, I finally got him one. And it's just so exciting. I feel so empowered for him to be able to have these supports in place that he needs. And I was really struggling for a while, feeling like I had failed him, being denied the first time, and before that, being told that I didn't even need to apply because I would be rejected. And just it's been a long battle, but I came prepared. I had hand-drawn graphs and lots of documentation, a note from the therapist, doctors, like medical records and stuff, and they didn't even look at it. I guess they figured if I'm trying again, maybe he really needs it. I don't know. I don't understand really how the process is supposed to work and if it worked how it was supposed to, but I just know I'm glad. I'm, I'm so relieved to finally feel like we are getting ahead in just the fight for Aiden to have the support he needs. It's a huge win today. Huge win. Now that we've got the 504, it's going to be easier to add or subtract accommodations. It'll be easier if we want to transition to an IEP for advanced curriculum to be offered. Like, it's going to be easier to do that because there's already going to be proof with the school that he does need accommodations. And so, like, I'm just so ecstatic, really, truly overwhelmed and relieved. Um, I just got like happy cried on the way home. Like, I'm just so happy. Um, and I just kind of wanted to share a little bit of this with people on there. I'm not sure what percentage of people that listen to me are mothers to children with a disability, but when you have level one autism, a lot of times from the outside, it doesn't look like you need help. Um, but it doesn't mean you don't need help just because it doesn't look that way from the outside. And I'm really grateful too for like love on the spectrum existing and like really showing society that, like, yes, autistic individuals can be functioning and still have issues, you know. Neurodivergency is not a like one size fits all kind of thing. Even just looking at individuals with autism from level one to level two, there's a profound difference in really everything. And so, you know, if you are a parent fighting for your child's needs to be met in school and you're being met with resistance, just keep fighting. Keep holding on, keep doing what you think is going to be best for your kid. And I know it's scary because sometimes we fear retaliation from the school or our child being treated differently when we try to get these supports and are denied by the school, because that's a very real possibility. And I know that we have faced some backlash because of this, but don't give up because you can keep trying, and eventually, if your heart is set on something, you will get it. Because when you really keep trying and trying and you make that your everything that you were trying for, it comes. Not because, um, I don't know, just because, I don't know how to explain it. I'm like running out of words too, but like when we really set our minds on something, we can achieve what we want to because it becomes our everything. And it's just kind of like statistics. The more you try for the same thing, even if it's a pretty low probability rate, like the more times you try, the higher statistically you will be to achieve this thing or whatever. I don't know. I'm babbling and I'm becoming uneloquent with words, so I'm just gonna leave y'all here. But I'm happy. I'm happy, and I wanted to remind other parents fighting for their kids' rights to not give up. I know it's really, really disheartening to be told that, you know, like, oh no, your kid's fine. I mean, last time I got a PowerPoint on how my son's great. He doesn't need help. It was the most like I don't know. That's the most I've been gaslit in a professional setting, I'll say. But it just felt really nice to finally be heard for the things that I've been saying for the last 4 years for my son. I've become better at articulating what the needs are. I've become more educated in how to help certain areas of need, working with his therapist, and just doing my own searches online for information and reading, .gov materials and anecdotes from individuals. Like, it's a really hard thing, I think, to come into parenthood knowing nothing about neurodivergency, and then slowly over a decade understanding that your child is autistic and that you have a lot of those traits as well. It just makes advocating really difficult, because I think, especially for a parent who has a lot of neurodivergent traits, there were a lot of things that I thought were just normal, but are not. Like, oh, you don't all watch shows with the captions on? You don't get socially drained and then need to, like, scream and cry and jump around in STEM? Like, because I do. Situations are so incredibly stressful for me, and I do a lot of my own, like, socially appropriate stimming, and it's crazy to have the language to put to the abnormal behaviors and ways of existing that were normalized for me in my own life, and that I didn't realize could present different issues for my son than they did for me. And so, yeah, sorry, rambling, but just happy. Bye.